this is another one closely related to the business requirements, is the business process. So you don't want to spend a lot of money to buy a CPQ software just to do what you did, just to do in the new tool what you did in your old system. So you want to change some of your habits, right? So the first one is you want to really replicate the behaviors of your best sales reps in this case, right? So, or the A players, as I call it on the slide here. So that, and they could be from different teams. You see that I mentioned a couple of teams over here. It's sales ops, sales, finance, product management, product engineering, marketing, legal, and IT. And all these teams could and will probably be touched by one of your CPQ implementations. So you want to, first of all, make sure that you replicate the behaviors that you want to see and think a little bit before you just jump and implement old process in a new environment. So get the new tool, get new process, or review how you want to improve. You need to agree on goals. I mentioned this already earlier in the business requirements. It's really not enough to just say, I want to have CPQ, I want to sell more. It's like you probably have some idea today on where your challenges are, what's driving you to the discussion that you want to look into a CPQ tool. And as I said before, it could be pricing issues. It could be you're creating too many quotes, you spend too much time on things that don't pay off at the end. Whatever it is, you need to know what your goals are, and I have a couple of examples on the slides over here. You want to reduce the number of documents because you have too many and they may not be in sync. You have too many SKUs, nobody knows what you're really referring to, and so on. So you need to look again at these processes on a higher level. So if I go again and suggest the time, then I would say something very similar to what I said previously on the business requirements. It makes sense to know enough about your processes that you can select a vendor. Once you have a vendor with a CPQ solution, then you need to dig a little bit deeper. You find out how does the vendor see these processes? How are these processes supported by the vendor? And don't get too hung up on the level 1 to 4. I think different companies do it different ways. You just go a little bit deeper into this process. How do you do a configuration? You could have different steps, go to different levels. That's not the point. The point here is really to say spend some time to understand the requirement before you select the tool. Don't go bonkers again on this because it will change depending on what vendor you have, but you need to know what you want to address and how the vendor can help you to address this. And I've seen this many times. That's why I'm a little bit insistent on this point. As this is something you need to do before you start any CPQ work, because otherwise you're running the risk of getting new software and running old processes. This is not the point. You want to use this opportunity when you implement the new software to really do a fundamental improvement. And in order to do that, you have to know your process, and you really have to know what you want to tackle and how the vendor can help you to tackle this. And again, just to close on this then, spend a little bit of time before you select a vendor to understand this. Once you have a vendor, you need to spend more time to really see how does the vendor offer you to tackle these issues to address your problems.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Let's get to the next best practice then.